If someone had told me that a woman could be pregnant for 2 years, I would have laughed in disbelief. But here I am. My name is Mirabel Johnson, and I've been carrying this baby inside me for exactly 24 months. Yes, 2 whole years. What started as joy turned into agony, and what began as a celebration turned into a curse. It all started the day I got married to Daniel, my longtime sweetheart. We had waited 5 years before tying the knots. The wait was because we wanted to be financially stable, especially with my mother's constant reminder that love won't feed a family. Daniel and I had our ups and downs, but we pulled through. And just 3 months into our marriage, I missed my period. The test came back positive. I was pregnant. The whole family celebrated, except for Aunt Felicia. She didn't say a word during the announcement. She just stared at me, her eyes heavy with something I couldn't quite explain. Envy, hatred, maybe regret. I had always known Aunt Felicia didn't like me. She was my mother's younger sister, the one who had taken care of me after my mother passed away. But she constantly reminded me that I was a burden she never asked for. So when I got married before her own daughter, her precious Sophia, it must have wounded her pride deeply. I remember her words during the baby shower. She leaned close to me with a glass of wine in hands and whispered, "Enjoy this moment, Mirabel. Not all pregnancies end in delivery." I thought it was just one of her dark, sarcastic jokes. I was wrong. At exactly 9 months, I waited and waited. No sign of labor. My belly was huge, my ankles swollen, and I could barely walk. But every time I went to the hospital, the scan showed the baby was alive and healthy, but somehow not ready to come out. At 11 months, fear crept into our home. Daniel became restless. People whispered behind our backs. My mother-in-law said I was a witch. Even church members avoided me during fellowship. How can a woman be pregnant for a year? They said. By the 15th month, Daniel changed. He stopped coming home early. He stopped touching me. He even stopped praying with me. It was like the curse was no longer just in my womb. It was spreading into my marriage, my peace, my mind. I went from hospital to churches, from churches to herbal homes. Prophets said I had offended a deity. A prophet said it was a marine spirit, but it was the old herbalist woman in Mushin who gave me her name. Felicia. She tied your womb with blood of jealousy, the woman said, with eyes that glowed in the candlelight. Until the curse is broken, your baby will never come out, and you will continue to rot inside. I didn't believe at first, until I started seeing things. Dark shadows in my dream, a woman in red clothes chasing me through forests, whispers in the mirror, and then the baby stopped kicking. For 2 weeks, nothing, not a flutter, not a stretch, just silence. I thought I had lost it, until I felt it again. A sharp kick, light anger, like it was trapped. That was the day I knew I had to confront Aunt Felicia. And that was also the day I found out the shocking truth about the night of my wedding. A secret so dark, and it still gives me chills every time I remember. The rain was falling hard the evening I decided to confront Aunt Felicia. Daniel tried to stop me, but I pushed past him, wrapping my scarf around my head as I stepped into the storm. I didn't care if the neighbors were watching me or if my swollen belly made me look insane. All I knew was that if I didn't get answers, I would lose my mind completely. I took a bike straight to her compound in Ikorodu. The whole way there, I replayed every moment I had ever spent with her. Her tight-lipped smile when Daniel proposed, the way she refused to dance at my wedding, her cold hugs, her whispered insults hidden in sugary words. When she opened the door and saw me standing there drenched and shaking, her eyes widened. "Mirabel," she said slowly, almost like she was trying to remember my name. What are you doing here? Why? I croaked. My voice sounded hoarse, foreign. Why did you do this to me? She didn't pretend not to understand. She only stepped aside and let me in. The sitting room smelled of mothballs and bitter leaf. A single bulb dangled above us, casting shadows on the cracked walls. I stood there, dripping rainwater. My heart studying so hard I felt the baby stir inside me. Aunt Felicia sank into her chair. Her shoulders slumped as if the years had finally caught up with her. You think you deserve everything, Mirabel, she murmured. The love, the happiness, the perfect marriage. Do you know how many nights I stayed awake feeding you after your mother died? How I gave up my own chances to marry so you will have a roof over your head? That doesn't mean you had to destroy me, I screamed, tears streaming down my face. What did I ever do to you? Her lips curled into a bitter smile. You did nothing, except take what should have been Sophia's. Daniel was meant for her. I staggered back, gripping my belly. My mind reeled. You think I didn't see how he looked at you when you came to stay with us during university? I watched it happen, all of it. The moment he fell in love with you, I knew you would ruin everything. You cursed me, my voice cracked. On my wedding night? She looked away, ashamed, or maybe tired of pretending. I did what any mother would do to protect her child's future, she said quietly. I went to the woman in motion. She gave me something to mix into your bathwater that night. It was only meant to delay your conception, to make you struggle the way I struggled. But when you got pregnant, she closed her eyes. I added something else. I wanted to collapse. My knees buckled, but I held myself up by sheer will. You don't understand what you have done, I whispered. This child is dying inside me. Auntie Felicia covered her face with hands. I didn't know it would go this far. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tear down her walls, burn her house, make her feel every moment of the 2 years I had carried this cursed pregnancy. But then something else happened. Something that made me freeze. The baby kicked. Hard. So hard I gasped in pain and doubled over. In that moment I heard it, a voice, cold and hollow, echoing in my ears. If you don't break this curse before the 3rd year, you will die. I looked up at Aunt Felicia, my vision blurred by tears and terror. How do I end this? I croaked. Tell me what to do before it's too late. She swallowed, her eyes darting around the dim lights like she expected something or someone to appear. There is only one way, she whispered, but it will cost you more than you can imagine. The rain had stopped by the time I stepped out of Aunt Felicia's house, but inside me the storm was still beginning. I felt numb as her words repeated in my head. There's only one way, but it will cost you more than you can imagine. I turned back to face her, clutching the door frame like it was the only thing holding me upright. What is the cost? I whispered. Aunt Felicia looked older than I had ever seen her. Her lips trembled, her eyes blistering. I realized in that moment, in her own twisted words, she was afraid, maybe even sorry. To break the curse, she said, voice shaking. You must find the woman who performed the ritual and convince her to reverse it. But she won't help you freely. Then I will pay, I said desperately. Whatever she asks for, I will pay. Aunt Felicia shook her head slowly. You don't understand. The curse isn't just a simple charm. It's binding of life for life. My stomach turned cold. What does that mean? I demanded. She lifted her gaze and grief in her eyes almost made me pity her. It means, she swallowed, for your child to be born, someone else must die. I stared at her, uncomprehending. No, I took a step back. No, that's not possible. There must be another way. I've told you everything I know, she said. The woman in motion, she's called Iyalode. She lives behind the old Anglican cemetery. But if you go to her, be ready. I didn't remember how I got home that night. I only knew that when I walked into the living room, Daniel was waiting. His eyes were red and I could tell he had been drinking. He rose when he saw me, his lips parting to say something, but no words came out. Instead, he reached for me and for the first time in months, he held me close. "Where did you go?" he asked, voice muffled against my hair. "To find the truth," I whispered. "And did you?" His arms tightened. "Yes." We stood there in silence. I felt the baby shift again, like it was listening, like it was aware that its fate was being decided in whispers and tears. Finally, I pulled away. "I need to go to Mushin," I told him, "to see the woman who caused me." He nodded slowly, rubbing his hands over his face. "I will go with you." "No," I shook my hand. If what Aunt Felicia said is true, you shouldn't be there." Daniel looked at me as if seeing me for the first time. I could feel the fear radiating off him, but almost something else. Guilt. "What is it?" I demanded. "You are hiding something?" He swallowed, glancing at the floor. "There's something I never told you." A cold dread pulled in my stomach. "What?" He hesitated, then looked up, eyes haunted. "The night before our wedding, I went to see Aunt Felicia," he confessed. My throat closed. "Why?" "She called me, said she has something important to discuss. She told me. She told me that if I ever married you, tragedy will follow." I sank onto the chair, my whole body shaking. "You knew?" I rasped. "You knew she was against us and you didn't tell me?" "I thought she was just bitter," he cried. "I never imagined she would do this." My vision blurred as hot tears spilled down my cheeks. I realized then that everyone I had loved betrayed me in some way. Aunt Felicia with her curse, Daniel with his silence, even my mother-in-law with her scorn. I was alone in this, completely alone, and yet I felt something else, something stronger than the fear, a tiny flicker of defiance. "I will not let this curse kill me or my child. I will go to Moshun. I will find Iyalode and I will end this no matter the price."